less lethal contingencies. Alan here. All right, so with yesterday evening's test of the new barrel and the Reaper suppressor on the IntruBuster Gen 2, I was only able to get 3 shots off before having a 0.11 O-ring failure where it just launched itself right out of the barrel. So I don't know if that other issue I was having where I would air it on and then have a little bit of a leak and then air it off, air it back on, and then the leak would kind of correct itself. I don't know if that was a precursor or if it's totally not related. I'm starting to think that it's probably wasn't even related. And the reason why is because after replacing the O-ring, I still seem to have that issue, but only when I'm using a slide check equipped tank. Okay, I'm still using this AR Tactical slide check equipped tank, 9 CI tank, 1000 PSI output regulated. I'm still using it. I had been using it with an HK Army tank extender or regulator extender, which did have some restriction inside of that extender. So I was using that to kind of knock down some of the restriction. I have since taken that off, and now I have a drilled out 17 millimeter disc, if you would, steel disc in there, and I have it installed in here. Okay, so I'm hoping that will slow down the flow enough. I may still get that little issue there where it leaks and then I got to turn it off and on again. If I do, so be it. I can work around that. But I did test it on one of my tanks that's just a pin valve tank. It doesn't, with a regular on and off, with the GOG on and off. And I did not have that issue. It aired up fine, no leaks from the beginning. So again, I think it's yet another symptom that I'm seeing. I don't know if everybody else is seeing, but yet another symptom with this particular marker when you air up from a slide check, if you don't have enough restriction. So ideally, I'm hoping this puts enough restriction in, but we'll see. And if not, we'll shoot through it. As long as I don't have another 0.11 go flying out the barrel. I hope to get off this time 2 magazines, or at least a full magazine anyways. I only got 3. I pulled the trigger 3 times on yesterday's test. However, that 3rd time that the O-ring blew out, it also, at that point, the tank was just blowing air right out because there was no O-ring there. So the other 2 rounds that I couldn't figure out where they went, well, they did indeed end up blowing out into the target trap, but they weren't technically, shot out of the gun, I guess, by a trigger pull, intentionally, anyways. So that was interesting. I did find them in there, and I did end up finding that O-ring. It landed right behind the back of my trap over there. I did find it. I inspected it. It was mint. I mean, it looked perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it that I could see. So I think it just kind of rolled and just went flying right off. And again, I think it could have may have contributed by me being so liberal with the oil, with the silicone oil, possibly. I've had it happen twice on this particular marker, so maybe maybe it's a little smaller, that O-ring, than it should be for this particular marker. So the replacement that I put in here is a 7.5 by 2 millimeter 0.11 O-ring. So it's a little thicker. Definitely you can feel, I mean, it goes in fine, but you can feel some resistance when it goes in. So we'll see if this one works better for me in this marker anyways. The other urethanes, I've been running them for a while in my X68, no problem with it, whatsoever. So anyways, I blabbered on enough. Let me air it up first. I'll put my ears on and we'll see if we can get through 2 mags and be able to, get some better numbers here for this test. All right, 1000 PSI, 9 CI tank, slide check, but I do have the restriction inside here, the disc, drilled out disc. Let's see. Yeah, so I still have it. You can still hear it. Okay. De-air. Air back up. you don't hear it. Okay. So again, I wasn't getting that with my regular bottles without the slide check. And I guess to confirm that, let me take this off. Ooh, let me de-air it again. I just want to confirm it really quick. I tested it out upstairs in the office, and indeed, it was only a 700 PSI tank, but let's try it again with this 700 PSI tank and see what we get. Now, I will need an on and off, so I'm going to use this regular twist on, twist off. You actually put it on the marker first. We're going to use one of these, since I don't have, that's the only one I have down here. All right, so we're going to put that on there. This is just a little 7 CI tank. This has got an 800 PSI regulator, but it's soft. It's only putting out about 700 PSI. So, but this will serve as a good test just to kind of explain what's going on here, where I really think, starting to think it's just these slide checks. It's yet another symptom I'm noticing on this gun only. Every marker is a little different. So, all right, so we're going to air up. There's no ammunition in it naturally. Yeah, see? So I aired up just fine. I'm going to hold the mag well up to my Bluetooth. Quiet as can be. Okay. So I think, besides the auto fire issues with this particular marker, and maybe it's just mine. I don't know if anybody else is seeing it as well, but with the slide check, even with the restriction, there doesn't seem to be enough restriction. For some reason, it's one of those deals where I have to air it up. I get the leak, turn it off, air it up, and it's fine. It's like, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. I do this with a regular tank, pin valve tank. Don't have the problem. So I guess if you want to use the slide check on this particular marker and you're getting that problem, it's something you might have to live with. So all right, so we only wasted a little bit of air, but that's just the 700 PSI tank here, which I don't need to tester on that because I'm looking to see if I can get how many the strong numbers I was getting yesterday. I did get some really, really exciting numbers, strong numbers on that 1000 PSI. Very happy with that. The addition of this barrel, the 4.5 inch barrel, and the Reaper suppressor, I think I gained like, I want to say I gained 12 feet per second over what I usually get with that. So yeah, I was like pretty excited about that. Come on, get on there. There we go. I didn't think I had it on that tight, but I guess I did. Yeah, so, they said between 7, they were advertising with their tests, it was between 7 and 12, I think they said 7 and 12 feet per second. And I saw the 12, definitely. My second shot was 88 and change, but it was really high. It was almost 89 joules with these 10 gram AR Tactical ammunition. So, yeah, so there's that. So I just have that metal in there I drilled out. I had to drill it out in the center a little larger so that it would slip over the little pin that's in here to depress the pin valve. And then I got a couple small holes, I think 1/16 holes drilled around it just to allow some, so it should cause some, it definitely should be enough restriction to keep me from having auto fire, which was the original goal, was just to stop the auto fire that these slide checks are known to create. because of the massive inrush flow, and then overpowering the bolt spring when it goes to recharge. However, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to resolve that other issue, so I'm just going to air it up. And I did lose some air going back and forth on this. I got a little over 2,000 psi right here. So I'm just going to shoot one mag. I don't think I'm going to have enough pressure to get through. This is kind of a smaller tank, this 9CI. So I'm just going to, if I can get one mag, 6 rounds, and get some good numbers, I'll be happy with that data. And then I'll be continuing the test naturally. I also got to test it on CO2, and I want to test my 4 times 12 gram CO2 stock on this setup as well. But for now, I just want to see if I can get 6 rounds off without blowing O-rings up the gun. So this is kind of a test to make sure that O-ring is okay too. So here we go. Yeah, so leak. No leak. Not ideal because I'm wasting air. I mean, air is cheap when you're doing HPA, but still you don't want to keep bringing down your tank pressure, especially when you got a smaller tank. So I don't know what my workaround's going to be for that. It's not happening when I use a regular pin valve with a regular on and off. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do long term with that, if there's another workaround. I'd hate to have to add another on and off to it as well, because again, it just extends it longer. It defeats the purpose of using the slide check tank anyways. The purpose is that it's smaller, it's quick and easy to operate. So I don't know. All right, we're aired up. Let's see if we can get off one magazine of the 10 gram AR Tactical Joules. And that'll be good enough for today's test. All right, we got the chrony set to feet per second. I'm just going to go ahead and call out the feet per second, and we'll see if we can get through 6 of these with just about 2,000 psi in the tank. And that's using that new restrictor that I put inside there. So, all right. Mag 1, shot 1, 10 gram ammo, 1,000 psi. 418 feet per second. Shot 2. 422 feet per second. Shot 3. 426.5 feet per second. Shot 4. 422.4 feet per second. Shot 5. 426.9 feet per second. And I think I got one more if I have the air pressure. Down to about 1,000 psi. Shot 6. 420.9 feet per second. Yep. That was all 6. All right, that felt good and strong. Good and strong. All right, that is going to be today's test right now anyways. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of get through a mag at least, because I had that O-ring blowing out. So O-ring, the new replacement O-ring I put on seems to be holding fine. Everything's working good with it. So yeah, no auto fire, no stutter, not even the slightest bit that I could notice right here. So I would have to say that this, what did I call it? Disc, this steel disc that I drilled out seems to be doing the job. So just have 4 1.6 millimeter or 1/16 drilled out holes in there. And then I had to drill out a larger hole in the middle just so it could go around that nipple there that engages the pin valve on the regular tanks. So which of course, this I'll take on and off. Like if I'm gonna hook up a pin valve directly to it, pin valve tank, then I don't need this restriction here. So it doesn't fall out very easily. Sometimes I have to pick it out a little bit. But it seems to be doing the job as far as creating the restriction that I was looking for. So anyways, there's that. So we got 6 good rounds, and we'll put up some numbers, and it gives me some data. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.